We are live? Okay. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. So today the date is October 15th. The time is 10:45 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. My name is Mohammed Faisal. I'm one of the chief examiners at Nafi. We have with us today, let me open your file to state the right name, complete name. We have today with us Sunair Hassan. Sunair Hassan, he is going to present his diploma in artificial intelligence operations, EduQual level 6, RQF level 6. That's something that he will be presenting in today. Uh, the topic of the presentation is orchestrating space, ground, hybrid cloud with Cube Edge, LoRaWAN, and the satellite connectivity for remote environmental monitoring, right? An excellent topic. Just today, before coming over here, I was at a doctor's appointment and I was reading the news. So in the Arctic, and if I can find the news today, right? Canada Arctic monitoring. So in the Arctic, Canada is developing a new mission, and the mission states that Canada will be using on the North Pole to monitor what is happening because there's a lot of you know things happening on the geopolitical space where like Russia is invading, or so as they claim, the news channels and whatnot, the sovereignty and the space sovereignty and whatever the case is within Canada, within Alaska, so on and so forth, right? So there are more than 5,000 soldiers of Canadian Army deployed on the Arctic side, on the North Pole, right? There is no Santa Claus there, I can tell you for sure, right? Or at the South Pole. South Pole, there are only penguins. On the North Pole, you will find polar bears, right? And the native people living over there. There is a masjid up in the Yellowknife, and one of my teachers who taught me Quran, Sheikh Hassan al Habib, he lives there, so I know that for sure. And there's a community of more than 1,500 Muslims living there, mashallah, right? So the Canadian Army has deployed IoT sensors and a combination of IoT sensors and surprisingly Apple AirTags, right? Apple AirTags and multiple other mesh technologies. They have created a mesh for surveillance purposes so that they can see and hear if they find any ground activity happening, right? So your topic surprisingly addresses that, right? Because I was just going through it today while sitting there. Alhamdulillah, whenever because I read a lot, I'm able to connect the dots, right? In terms of what is happening on the global side and whatnot. So the topic is very fascinating, right? Something that now this thing has been done. When I was drafting this topic, I always take into consideration the global job market, the global geopolitical landscape, what is happening, what the companies are doing, so on and so forth, because the global geopolitics dictates many things of what will happen globally within the globally within the job landscape and the industries, right? So the topic is very fascinating. This outlines, this project challenges students to architect and implement a space ground hybrid cloud infrastructure, supporting remote environmental monitoring and disaster response application. You have to present a solution which must handle intermittent satellite connectivity, edge computing in extreme environments, and long-range sensor networks while ensuring data integrity and mission-critical reliability. You have to show how to build a resilient distributed computing platform spanning terrestrial edge devices, ground station, and satellite networks, right? As I was reading this article, you know, it reminded me of all the topics that I've drafted, right? Uh, and surprisingly, your topic came in today, right? So we'll be talking about all of those things today in terms of making sure that we cover. So there will be cloud edge hybrid. There are six, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 objectives of your learning objective of the presentation. How to talk about edge cloud hybrid architecture, satellite communication integration, long-range IoT sensor networks, environmental data processing and analytics, disaster response and emergency communication, resilient data management. You have to show industrial applications and open source and cloud native tools. Combination of how you can use this: QB, Edge, OpenYARD, and Super Edge, the edge computing. And for the IoT, LoRaWAN, Zigbee, and 6LoWAN, 6LoWPAN, right? So these are all the different protocols. The topic is very loaded. You have to talk about the GNU radio, SDR, QBSAT protocols. There's a lot of things. There's also mesh networking where we have Batman, right? So I hope you do look like Bruce because you have a dimple like Bruce Wayne, right? All right. So, mashallah, smart guy, right? So, and a smile like Bruce Wayne as well, I would say. But let's see if you have the intellect of Bruce Wayne. That's what defines Bruce Wayne, who he is, right? So in the presentation, you'll be presenting a topic with minimum 15, maximum up to 25 minutes, followed by Q interview, which is going to be minimum 30, maximum up to 40 minutes, right? So the whole presentation can be wrapped around 45 to 60 minutes. Sunair, Hassan, do you have any questions before we proceed?
No, sir.
You may share your screen, please.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, I can see that. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. You may start your presentation now.
Okay, so Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Sunair Hassan, and I'm a student of the Diploma in Artificial Intelligence Operations, EduQual Level 6. Today, I will present my presentation, which is titled Orchestrating Space Ground Hybrid Cloud with QBH, LoRaWAN, and Satellite Connectivity for Remote Environmental Monitoring. So this presentation is about joining satellites, ground stations, and local edge devices into one system. The idea is to collect data from faraway places where there is no internet and keep communication stable even during emergencies. And also we use AI to spot early warning signs about problems like floods, droughts, and wildfires. So this gives us time to prepare and reduce damage. At the same time, it makes sure that the system makes the communication stable and data keep flowing even during emergencies. So let's move on. So here's my presentation outline. My presentation is divided into these 8 points. So first point, introduction. Here I will describe the first point. I will tell you about what is the goal of my presentation and why it is important, and the space ground hybrid cloud architecture. In this part, I will tell you about how the space satellites, ground stations, and local edge devices connect to share data, and I will also show you the main design of the system, edge computing frameworks, and autonomous operation. In this part, I will talk about how the edge devices keep working on their own, and this service also continue that it makes sure that your service continue even if the cloud or internet goes down. Satellite connected communication protocols and orbital scheduling. Here I will describe how the satellites communicate with the ground station by using protocols and scheduling. Long-range IoT sensor network deployment. In this part, I will discuss about how the long-range IoT sensors connect over long distances, environmental data processing, analytics, and predictive modeling. In this section, I will cover how we process and analyze the sensor and satellite data, and how AI analyzes the sensor satellite data for the predictions like floods, droughts, and wildfires 2 to 3 weeks in advance, disaster response communication, and silent data management. Here I will discuss about how the system active during disasters and how smart data backups make the system strong and dependable. Industry application, technology stack, and closing remarks. Here I will finally discuss about how our system help to the agencies, farmers, and space mission companies. So here we go. So now I will give you an introduction. Imagine we are trying to monitor floods and forest fires in those areas where there is no internet. So my presentation is solve this problem by building a hybrid cloud system that combines space satellites, ground stations, and localized networks to keep communication and prediction accurate. So smooth connection between space satellites, ground stations, and edge networks. This means that the systems linked with the satellites, ground stations, and local edge networks into one system. So if one link is unstable, the system makes sure the communication flowing smoothly. Trustworthy tracking in faraway places with no internet. So this system works in remote areas like desert, ocean, and forest where there is no internet. So satellite act as a bridge, ensuring constant tracking. A system ready for disaster that keeps communication and data safe. So during floods, droughts, and wildfires, normal telecom systems are broken. So this makes sure that emergency communication continue through satellites and silent mesh networks. And data is also backed up and secure, so nothing is lost during crisis. Smart AI gives useful ideas to predict and respond to environmental agencies. AI analyzes the sensor and satellite data to predict disasters, and these predictions are sent to the agencies so they can prepare early. So space ground hybrid cloud architecture. So in this part, I will show, let's look at the main architecture. And in this part, I will also describe that how the space satellites, ground stations, and localized devices connect to share data. So one connected system of satellite, ground station, and cloud platforms. Satellite ground stations and cloud platforms are all linked together as a single network. And this makes sure that, this makes the system reliable and smooth from space to ground to cloud, keeps working well even with weak or delayed connections. So this system is designed to handle unstable networks. It can store the data when the signal is weak and send it later when it improves. It works for both instant data sharing and delayed sending. During alerts, disaster alerts like floods and for forest fires must go first immediately in the real time, and less important data like humidity reading can be stored and move forward it once when they can to save bandwidth. Scalable design for large remote monitoring system. Our system is very scalable, and this system starts from a few sensor and then expanded to cover large regions. It is very flexible to support thousands of devices, even different environments. So here's a workflow. IoT sensors collect raw environmental data like soil moisture and rainfall. This data go to the gateway, and the gateway store it until ready to be sent, and then it's sent to the QB edge nodes. Edge node process this data locally, and for the processing like local processing, data compression, filtering, and then this data is transferred to the satellite. So satellite receives this refined data and then transmit it to the nearest ground station. Ground stations store it in its local server for the safety purposes, and then it transmit to the cloud. In the cloud, data is permanently stored and deeply analyzed and used by AI models for visualization and decision making. So edge computing frameworks and autonomous operation. Here I will describe how the edge devices make the system stronger, and how the edge devices are very smart computers placed close to the sensors. Even if the internet or cloud goes down, the system communication keeps flowing. So now I'm going to start with the QB edge. So QB edge extend cloud features, cloud computing to the edge. It enables to the edge devices that cloud fe smoothly use cloud features in the remote areas. It supports real-time and low latency workloads, and even in the weak connections. OpenJet. OpenJet extend Kubernetes to the edge. It allows the devices to making it easier to handle, and the it makes sure that edge devices keep working on their own if the cloud connection is lost. so critical services remain reliable in extreme environments. Super Edge. Super Edge provide edge native features like service mesh, load balancing, and fault tolerance. It makes sure that application runs independently even if the cloud connection is lost. So key impacts. So the edge system running reliably even without a constant need of a cloud, which reduces the constant need of the cloud access and satellite access. At the same time, the system makes sure that all the important tasks like alerts and monitoring continue without any interruption. So satellite communication protocols and orbital scheduling. In this part, I will discuss about how the satellites communicate with the ground stations. So this part focuses on the protocols and the scheduling. So CCSDS standards. CCSDS stand for Satellite Connectivity. CCSDS stand for Consultative Committee for Space Data Systems. It is used by widely agencies like NASA and ESA. It ensures that all the systems use the same rules like for data transfer, remote control, and information management. Delay tolerant networking, which is also called DTN. DTN stores data when the signal is weak and or broken and send it later. So it also is used store and forward method is used. This method is used to prevent signal collisions and keep this communication stable. SDR enabled protocols. SDR stands for Software Defined Radio. SDR make radio flexible. This means that they can adjust frequency like UHF and VHF and signal like DVB S2, AX.25 as needed. This adaptability help to strong communication under changing conditions. Orbital scheduling frameworks. It predicts when satellite, especially low Earth orbit satellites, will pass overhead. It optimizes the time of uplink means sending the data and downlink means receiving the data. And it also switches between ground station to avoid losing connection. Long range IoT sensor network deployment. So here I will describe that how the low power IoT sensors connect over long distances, and this network makes sure that sensors can work for years on a single battery. So LoRaWAN. LoRaWAN stands for Low Power Wide Area Network, and it allows devices to communicate around up to 10 to 15 kilometers by using low power, and because of low energy use, the sensors can run on a single battery for many years. Zigbee. So this IoT network is self-repairing and self-organizing, and it sends data very smartly to keep connection stable, and it also makes sure that the local communication reliable even with thousands of devices. 6LoW VPN. So 6LoW VPN stands for IPv6 over low power wireless personal area network. 6LoW VPN allow low power and small IoT sensors can directly connect to the IPv6 internet, and this means that sensors from different places and different locations and systems can communicate globally. It also integrates sensors smoothly with satellite and the cloud platforms. Adaptive data collection. When the network has limited capacity, it prioritizes the most important data first, and it makes sure that urgent updates must go first without any delay. It assesses data very smartly to avoid data collisions. Environmental data processing, analytics, and predictive modeling. So now I have covered how the sensors collected data. Now I will show that how this data convert into useful predictions. So this part focuses on real-time data processing, advanced analytics, and AI-based forecasting. Real-time data processing. Apache Kafka captures sensor and satellite data at millisecond speed. Edge devices process some of the data locally, which reduces satellite uplink traffic by up to 60%. It ensures that updates must go first without any delay, even with limited bandwidth. Advanced analytics. In the advanced analytics, we use time series model. Time series analysis look over data patterns like hours, days, and week. It helps to detect environmental changes, which is faster than traditional method. Data which we gather from IoT sensors and the satellite are analyzed together instead of separately. This makes the accuracy, improve the accuracy by up to 30 to 40% more accurate than using only one source. Predictive modeling. AI models are trained to forecast floods, droughts, and wildfires 2 to 3 weeks in advance. Predictive alerts are sent to the agencies through satellite downlink. This enables preventive action, reducing disaster impact, and saving lives. So, disaster response communication and silent data management. In this section, I will cover how this data, how this system can stay stable even during emergencies when the normal networks are failed. This system makes sure that emergency communication and census data still reach to the right people. So emergency communication. In the emergency communication, we use mesh routing protocols like Batman or LSCR. Batman stands for Better Approach to Mobile Ad Hoc Networking, and OLSCR stands for Optimized Link State Routing. And this allows the devices to connect with each other, even if the infrastructure is down. It gives priority to emergency uplink channels, so alerts and coordination messages reach to the agencies without any delay. The silent data management. Sensor and satellite data are kept consistent across edge nodes, ground stations, and the cloud. So data is compressed, scheduled smartly, and backup automatically. This ensures that this reduces bandwidth usage and enable quick recovery during emergencies. Industry application, technology stack, and closing remarks. Finally, I will tell you about how the system uh, can help to other agencies and farmers and the government, and what technologies can make this possible. And then I will close it with the key message of my presentation. So application. This system helps environmental agencies so they can monitor climate changes and ecosystem more efficiently. Disaster response team receive early disaster alerts and keep communication stable. It also supports farmers with accurate insight for the irrigation to improve crop health. And it helps space agencies to improve Earth observation and settle space ground data integration. Technology. So this system uses two edge computing tools to make edge devices work on their own. So it uses QB OpenYard, and SuperEdge. For the sensors connectivity over long distances, it uses LoRaWAN, Zigbee Hub, and 6LoWPAN. For the reliable communication, it uses mesh routing protocols like Batman, OLSCR, CCSDS standards, and SDR, DTN. It also applies data tools and AI like Apache Kafka, TensorFlow, Scikit-learn. Together, these tools create a resilient and intelligent monitoring system. Closing. This project transforms environmental monitoring from reactive to proactive. It ensures that real-time data processing, AI predictions, reliable communication in remote areas. And this system is designed to save lives, protect resources, and support sustainable development. I have now reached the end of my presentation. Thank you for your time and attention.
Okay, just give me 2 minutes. Let me compile the results for your presentation. Then we will jump into the Q&A session. So let me show you what I was talking about, right? That will give you an idea. Sunair Hassan, are you there?
Yes, sir, I'm there.
Can you please enable your camera? Yes. So remember, I was talking to you that I was sitting at the, at the office of for my uh, essentially at the dermatologist's office, right? So this is the
Yes,
article
sir.
I'm reading. So it was on my phone, and this talks about your topic. Just today. This is 15th of October. Today is 15th of October, and I read it at 7:30 a.m. actually. See, so when I talk about something, I always use the facts, right? So this is Dominion Dynamics, and what they're doing is they are creating an Arctic sensor network, right? And as I told you, that they're using a mesh network similar to what you are proposing, right, in your presentation. This is the defense technology company Dominion Dynamics has completed its first financing, backed almost entirely by Canadian investors, with the goal of establishing a sensor network to collect data and detect threats in the Canadian Arctic, right? It talks about
Yes, sir.
Ottawa-based company closed 4 million pre-seed funding round. And what they're doing is like, which was very interesting, because we're going through the Series A round as well, right? We're going through that. So the Dominion first product is the sensor network, which essentially operates as a command and control system for remote areas lacking communications infrastructure. And they're using Apple AirTags. So now, and I have Apple AirTags with me, don't have it with me right now, but there's always one AirTag in my car, and there is one AirTag in my wallet. So if I lose my wallet, right, I know where to find it, because that's a bag. It's in the bag. The bag has the wallet and the car keys, right? And then uh, in the car, if something happens to the car, whatever, I can see where my car is, right? So there is one for the Lexus, there is one for Honda. I have even given air tags to my kids so that I can see where they are, right? They have a GPS watch through which I can see them where they are, but they also have AirTag as well. So AirTags are now being used by companies, in battlefield. This is a battlefield situation, which can either be stationary or carried by armed forces members. The sensor connect to phones or cameras to collect data, such as images and voice notes, and push them across a network to a communication tower. The data can then be received by armed forces members stationed at nearby base to produce a 3D map that shows where what their colleagues in the field are seeing or hearing in real time. See,
Yes, sir.
what we're teaching you, the you know the pro the the topic I gave you is that's the same topic which is now being used by a company to raise funds and basically develop a solution. You see, so whenever I see this, I say, Alhamdulillah, my brain is still working. Alhamdulillah, right? I always do that and I'm happy. Uh, can I have some coffee, please? Jazakallah. So this says we are building that digital archive of the country through the eyes of these ranges, right? Because there are more than, as I told you, there are more than, before the start of the interview, I said there are more than 5,000 Canadians, Army ranges, right? Army personnels. The ranges, they come in the Army. It's part of the, just like Pakistan ranges, right? They are part of the Army, right? Stationed in more than
Yes, sir.
220 communities across the Canada, right? One of the communities in Yellowknife, that's where the Muslims are. There's a masjid, there's only one masjid, and there are 1,500 Muslims over there. So you can see the topic I gave you. If you look at the topic, it talks about the same stuff. So now let me open your topic now so that we can connect the dots, right? Because this is very important for us to connect the dots and see, where we are going, right? So this is your topic, Sunair Hassan. If you review it, you will understand that, where are we standing? Your topic talks about the same stuff. So what we are providing it to you, take it very, very seriously, right?
Yes,
Because
sir.
these things can define your career when you go forward, right? This is orchestrating space ground hybrid, cloud with QB Edge, LoRaWAN, and satellite connectivity for remote environmental monitoring. What is that Canadian Army Force is doing? remote environmental monitoring. What
Yes,
are
sir.
you designing and developing, right? Your topic is much advanced because it is also using the same LoRaWAN and all these different edges because air tags, they use the same similar technology, right?
Yes, sir.
Right? So you can see, Alhamdulillah, we are teaching you the next generation stuff that the companies are now coming up with the ideas and raising capital. There are 36 different companies, not 20, 36 different companies that I will end up establishing, inshallah, in the next 5 years. I'm already working on the blueprint. One of them is regarding this because I need to
Okay.
create some of the ground stations and some of these small QB satellites, it's a 6 by 6 box, small, that we want to push out there in space to create our own grid, right? To monitor, to share internet and provide all of those things. That's another Nafi upcoming company, inshallah, right? Something I'm already
Inshallah, sir.
working on, right? So this is the next generation stuff. You are learning the next generation stuff. If you pay attention, you can even go and create this idea and a solution. You can even create, start generating Series A rounds and start generating money for that, inshallah. Okay.
Inshallah,
All
sir.
right. So let's jump into the Q&A session and see how it goes. All right. So looking at your presentation, right? It talks about QB edge in ground space, hybrid cloud. So what are the key functions of the QB edge in the space ground hybrid cloud architecture presented in your presentation? What are the key functions? Bismillah.
Like it can it give key fun it has key function like it gives cloud features like load balancing and fault tolerance and real-time data processing.
Come again. Can you repeat that again, please?
So it gave us real-time data processing, load balancing, and fault tolerance.
Okay. But what are the key functions of QB edge? QB edge, specific to the QB edge. What do we use? What do we
So
use QB edge for?
we use QBH to extend cloud computing to the edge. So it makes sure that the critical services remain reliable, even the connections.
This is how you have to answer when you go for a company, like for example, you go for a company in Canada, right?
Yes, sir.
And this just like this Dominion Dynamics, you go there and you say, okay, I'm here to present you what you guys are doing. And you can essentially look into using QB Edge and all these things. So this is how you have to, looking at your presentation, the diagram. The QB Edge enables cloud native capabilities at the edge by extending what? By extending Kubernetes to the remote edges, remote nodes. It allows
Awesome.
local computation during cloud disconnection. That's what it is, right?
Yes,
Ensures
sir.
low latency operations and manage workloads on distributed devices under intermittent satellite links. The satellite links are not stable.
Yes, sir.
Earth patterns, solar flares, all of these things, they can disrupt the satellite communication.
Yes, sir.
That's why it is known as intermittent. Uh, my friends, they use Tesla, SpaceX communication, right? The
Yes,
internet.
sir.
Uh, the problem is that sometimes if there is a solar disruption, the connection goes down. Weather patterns, the connection goes down. Electromagnetic interference because of the earth, the connection goes down. So I asked them, how reliable is the connection? He said, depending on where you are and how big the satellite grid is up there, right? They have a constellation of satellites, small satellites all over, which acts as routers to beam the traffic, right? They said
Yes, sir.
like, it's 90% to 95% good in major cities. In remote areas, depending on the weather conditions and whatnot, it goes to 70, 80%. But still, there is connectivity, right? So that's why people are using it. So you have to understand all these core things to make sense out of it. to understand what you are presenting. So when you go out and you're talking to these, I know, how old are you?
18.
18, mashallah. Good. An 18-year-old kid, like if you ask your friends, hey, what is LoRaWAN? What is Batman? They will say, oh, Batman, that's cartoon, Batman comics. I say, no, no, no. There's a whole framework we have to follow, right? There's so many things going on. He said, what? Really? So that's the problem, right? So mashallah, at the age of 18, you're discussing with me hybrid satellite and all of these things, right? So this is the future,
Yes, sir.
right? So you have to invest time in terms of building that. Complete the Al Razak labs because that will give you the confidence you need to pass the interviews.
Okay, sir.
Otherwise, you won't be, because you have to get the Al Razak labs done. You will get all the key skills you need to pass and basically prosper in what you want to do, right? Uh, just in the cybersecurity domain, are you doing Al Razak right now?
No, sir.
You're not doing it?
No, sir. After this presentation, then I start.
Why does everyone is waiting for their presentation to complete? I don't understand. So this is Al Razak, right? Let me show you the labs given to you, right? So you are in level 6. So in level 6, you will get access to all the labs, right? All the labs. So security foundation, digital defense core. Then there is, let me show you this through this. Uh, then there is Al Razak, cyber defense specialist, Al Razak incident response, adversary emulation, Linux security administration specialist. So these are the labs. Al Razak exploit development advanced red kit. So these are so many. This one requires, a kit. You have to buy a kit from us. In most of the countries, the kit is banned, right?
Okay,
Because
sir.
but we will see what we can do. I think even in Pakistan or in Saudi Arabia, some of these countries they allow it through different things. But anyway, these are all your part. So you're learning all of these core things, right? Too much
Yes, sir.
stuff. Keep on practicing. This will enable you to be ready for the future because your project that you are presenting me, you will find the same labs as part of your Al Razak over there, inshallah.
Okay, sir.
Okay. All right. So let's jump in further. Let me open your presentation. Okay. So how does the use of LoRaWAN complement satellite connectivity in this architecture that you have presented?
So LoRaWAN actually stands for Long Range Wide Area Network. It allows connectivity up to 10 to 15 kilometers. And through the LoRaWAN gateway, we can transfer the data to the satellite through SDR. And it also process data if the edge nodes fail. So like data processing, filtering the data, something like that.
Again, you have to explain to me like this. LoRaWAN provides long range, low power communication for sensors in remote areas, reducing bandwidth, pressure on satellites. It acts as a first hop local layer before data is aggregated and sent via satellite to the cloud.
Sir, actually, this is my first interview, so I'm a little bit nervous.
I know, I know.
This is
But
natural phenomena, sir.
no, this is not natural phenomena.
Okay,
This
sir.
is completely different because you are presenting to me a topic that even if you go and ask a master's person, he'll be clueless,
Okay, sir, no
right?
problem.
So feel proud that you are doing mashallah very well. You're doing very well,
Okay,
mashallah.
sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I will try my best for the further questions.
But you have to improve your lingo because this is very
Okay,
important.
sir. Okay,
Explain
sir.
how a delay tolerant networking, DTN, supports data transmission in unstable environments. This is one,
Actually,
all these topics are my favorite. You know why? Because I'm building companies on all of these things.
outstanding, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
So actually, DTN stands for Delay Tolerant Network, and it stores data when the signals uh, when the signal is broken, and then send it later. When the signal improves, it stores it used store and forward method, which is used to prevent data loss, and it makes sure that communication is stable if the internet or cloud goes down.
Okay, I will take that. The first 5 questions are always easier. Which open source
Yes.
framework were mentioned for autonomous edge operations, and what is their individual role? So give me all three. Mention in your
Can
presentation.
you repeat the question, please? What are the open source
Presentation,
tools?
you have mentioned open source frameworks. So you mentioned
Okay.
open source
QBH
framework.
open your Super Edge?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Yes. They were mentioned for autonomous edge operation. What,
Yeah, yeah.
so, what are they? Name them and what are their roles?
Okay, so QBH allow cloud computing features like real-time data processing, low latency, fault tolerance, even if the internet or cloud goes down. And the OpenGR, on the other hand, it manage the devices if the internet connection is weak. So it makes sure that devices work independently, even if the internet is unstable. And on the other hand, Super Edge provide edge native features like service mesh, load balancing, fault tolerance. So together, these tools create a resilient and intelligent monitoring system.
Good. Describe the workflow from sensor to cloud as used in this architecture diagram that you showed. Explain that to me, please.
Okay, sir. Actually, sensors, R2 sensors, collects the raw environmental data like soil moisture, air quality, temperature, and that is set to the cloud, to the gateway. The gateway store it temporarily until it's ready to be sent. It receives this data wirelessly by the sensors through LoRa signals, and it go to the edge devices. The edge devices process the data further, like local processing, data filtering, compression, and then it forward to the satellite. Satellite transmits this data, receives this refined data, and then transmit it to the nearest ground station. Ground station store a copy in its local server for the safety purposes, and it forwarded to the cloud. In the cloud, the data is permanently stored in the databases, analyzed deeply, and use AI models like for the visualization and decision making.
Okay. Okay. Uh, how does the hybrid cloud architecture ensures disaster resilience?
Actually, hybrid cloud ensures disaster resilience uh, by mesh routing protocols like Batman or LCR. It makes sure that, and also use DTN to store data when the nodes are failed. We also use Zigbee in that case. For the if one node fails and then another node still works, the other nodes reroutes the data automatically, and it makes sure that connectivity between the nodes and data must continue without any interruption. So our system is resilient in that case.
Who is the ultimate enemy of Batman? It's
Or ultimate yes, sir. I know. The ultimate bandwidth enemy of Batman is like if the you can say
no,
if
no.
the
I'm asking
map.
about. I'm asking about Batman. Like, okay, name any 4 villains of Batman series in the comics.
Okay. So this is okay. I will try. Actually, I don't
Do you
see.
read? Do you read? Have you ever read like Batman comics or stuff like that?
No, sir.
Really?
Yes, sir.
I grew up reading comics. That's how I was
No,
able
sir.
to.
I didn't read any comics, but some of these movies, like Batman versus Superman, something like that. Not more than that.
That's it? Okay, so tell me two villains of Batman.
Joker, and in the end is Superman also, because he thought that he killed her mother. That's why.
Oh, no, no, I mean, come on, like Superman is not the villain. But anyway, Batman is like Joker is there. There's Mr. Freeze. There's Penguin. There is Scarecrow. I know all of
No,
these
sir,
things,
I didn't know those. I don't know. Sorry.
right? The Al Capone, the mafia family. Yeah, that they have shown.
Okay.
You know, not the Al Capone. They had the name, some Italian name, right? So then there is a couple of other characters as well, which are not very well known, but yes, they are there as well, right? Can't remember one of the character which controls the plants. Can't remember. Ivy. Ivy is there. Then there is Catwoman and so many other things, right? Whenever I go to schools over here, I immediately am able to connect with the kids and the youth. You know why? Because I know exactly what they're watching and what they're doing. Because I've read all of those things. What they're making movies on, I've already read all the comics. All the comics. Yeah. I mean, those were my days. I can't read comics again. At the age of 45, now you memorize Quran, right? And read the books of Hadith, right? And fiqh and all of those things. So different person, but I still remember. I still remember. Okay, so discuss how orbital scheduling framework improves the efficiency of Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. Uh, that looks very good, cappuccino. Discuss how orbital scheduling framework improves the efficiency of satellite ground data exchange. How does it do it?
Okay, so orbital scheduling is very important. Actually, it's very vital because satellites are moving very fast. So especially LEO satellites, and scheduling ensures that maximum contact time with the ground station. So for this purpose, we know that we schedule that how in how much time and where the satellites come on that time. So we just save the bandwidth or for that time, and it connects to the satellite for the data transfer.
Okay. I woke up at 5 today, not at 4:30. But when I'm doing my breakfast now at 11:30.
Mhm.
So good job. Uh, in what way do SDR, software defined radio
Yes.
enabled protocols, enhance the adaptability of satellite communication?
Okay, so SVR protocols change modulations and like modulation schemes like uh, BPSK and QPSK. Uh, it also it ensures that the communication, like if send the small data, it use AX dot 25, and if it sends the large data, it use DVB S2. It decides that which frequency and which module is used for the data transfer as per the data requirement.
Okay, I'm going to move forward.
Yeah, sure.
Uh, so just as we were discussing today about that, dominion dynamics, right?
Okay.
It's a case study question. Remote Arctic region of Canada, right, up there,
Okay.
as intermittently region has intermittent satellite it passes every 90 minutes, right?
Okay.
How would you
This timing is, Ji sir. Yes, sir.
sorry,
Sorry.
go ahead. You're saying something?
Yes, sir. This timing means 90 to 120 minutes is uh, taken by LEO satellites.
So here out the full question, right? So I'm looking at the Dominion Dynamics article right now. Okay. Just give me 1 minute. So a remote Arctic region in Canada has intermittent satellite which passes every 90 minutes. How would you
Okay.
architect a fault-tolerant data relay system using the frameworks in the presentation to maintain 99% data integrity? You have everything there. Mention that to me.
Okay. So,
An interview question. If you can crack this, you will be able to secure a job in Canada. I'm telling you, right? No
okay,
pressure.
sir. Okay, sir. So, fault tolerance networking through the um,
So you have four things mentioned in your presentation. Okay. I'm going to give you,
CCSDS,
you have DTN, you have open,
CCSDS.
you
Okay,
have
sir. Okay, sir.
Kafka, and you have Super Edge. Four, how would you use these? Look at your diagram. How would you use
Can
these
I can I
presentation?
open my presentation?
Yeah, you can. This is an open book exam. So how would you
Okay,
use
sir.
these four things? DTN, Open Yurt, Kafka, and Super Edge
Okay,
to
so
create a fault-tolerant data relay system which maintains 99% data integrity.
okay, so mm,
What do you use?
it uses
What do you use
yes, sir.
DTN for? What do you use DTN for?
We use DTN for stored data when the signal is weak or broken, and then
Yes.
send it later. And we use store and forward method to prevent uh, to prevent data loss and keep communication stable.
Just hold on. So what you mentioned,
Okay.
we use data, right? We use
Yes, sir.
DTN. That's how you started your answer. So you will say,
Yes, sir.
we'll implement DTN for buffering sensor data
Okay.
during no pass intervals. No pass means,
Oh,
it passes every 90 minutes, right? It's going
yes,
fast,
sir.
90 minutes.
Yes,
So
sir.
what does this mean? We implement DTN
We
to
implement it
capture
in,
that.
yeah.
Then what do we
Okay,
use
sir.
OpenYurt for?
We use OpenER to manage edge devices, and even if the internet or cloud connections are weak, so it makes sure that uh, it manages the edge devices easier in the remote areas.
So you will answer, we will configure OpenYurt for local autonomy to process critical data.
Okay, sir.
What do we use Kafka in this scenario? Why do we use Kafka?
We use Kafka because it processes real-time streaming of IoT and sensors data in a large scale uh, in real time in remote areas.
So you will say use Kafka for queuing the
Yes.
data batch, the batch data transmission during the next satellite window. So it will queue up the data and will wait for the next satellite after 90 minutes when it comes in. Boom, it pushes all the data. And then Super Edge.
Yes, sir.
What do we use Super Edge for?
SuperEdge provide edge native features like service mesh, so fault tolerance, and load balancing. And it also makes sure the system work independently in the remote areas.
So then you will say integrate Super Edge for service load balancing across multiple relay nodes to prevent single point of failure. This is
Okay,
how
sir.
you pass the interview, right? You were able to answer the question, but you will get half of the marks. You can't get full marks, right? Because the question needs to resonate with how you are presenting. Imagine you are sitting for the interview. This is the number
Yes, sir.
one that we tell our students.
Yes, sir.
Everything is now on the cloud. the labs are already covering all of these scenarios. And the AI, essentially, the reason the company has become a $125 million company, the reason is? The reason is because of the labs, because of the Al Razak. Because you know what? I have trained the model. We have developed our own model. We have trained the model, you know, through
Okay,
my
sir.
intelligence, through my knowledge, through my experience that I've given it to all of it. And all the documentation I had and all the things I had, from the customers and everything, I scrubbed all the data, the sensitive data, and trained the system on that. That's what we have
Okay,
done.
sir.
And then used a lot of experience. It's just that information is just 5%. 95% is my experience. And that's
Yes,
what
sir.
makes us the company where we are. So you have to push yourself and do the labs properly, okay? All right.
Okay, sir.
So uh no need for going towards the Batman again. I mean, it's done. Uh this is the job-based question. How would you integrate cybersecurity controls, zero trust architecture into this hybrid system?
Okay, so by using encryption and authentication, through this, we can prevent attackers to inject the fake disaster data. Through this, our system sends only right data to the prediction maker for the to the agencies, so they can predict the disasters.
Are you done?
Yes, sir.
Wow, that was a very poor answer.
Okay, sir.
Talking about, how would you integrate cybersecurity controls into this hybrid system? So you will say, like cybersecurity controls like zero trust. So you will say implement identity-based segmentation at edge nodes, because you have
Okay.
to mention your own proposal, like your own network that you have proposed, right? Apply encryption in motion across LoRaWAN and satellite links. Deploy behavioral anomaly detection models using TensorFlow for threat analytics, and use open policy agent within Kubernetes cluster for dynamic access control enforcement. That's how you would do ZTA, right? Implementation
Okay, sir.
into architecture. Okay, the exam is over. Let me compile the results. Um, um, How was your exam?
It was good.
Yeah, it was good. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, sir.
What do you want to do?
So first of all, I do Al Razak Labs and then go for a job, and then I start my master's program in the future.
Good job. Inshallah. That's the right approach. And that's something I would also recommend to you as well. So, so the results are in. You secured 20.5 out of 25 in your presentation, right? And then you
Okay.
secured 20 out of 25 in your interview Q&A.
Okay.
Altogether, that's 40.5 out of 50. You secured 80%. You have passed your exam. MashaAllah. Okay. So here's my
Okay.
recommendation. As I've told you, and I'm telling everyone, focus on Al Razak Labs. Al Razak Labs karo.
Okay, sir.
We are teaching you all the things you can think of, right? People do not realize the value. They are wasting their time talking on LinkedIn about, you know, this is CI/CD pipeline, this is that. This is all bekar, sab bekar ki cheez hai. It's all rubbish.
Yes, sir.
What you need to focus on is talking about these are the 10 labs I did today, or this is what I learned today. This is part of Al Razak. You have to mention them on LinkedIn, on Reddit. Build up your online portfolio. अपना portfolio बनाओ online. Okay? उसमें
Okay,
mention
sir.
करो मैंने आज ये किया, मैंने आज ये किया. I did this, I did this, I did this. ठीक है? This is extremely important. Every day, do 3 hours of minimum labs. That's the 3 hour is minimum we give it to you. If you want to do more, you
Okay,
may have
sir.
to. But even if you spend 3 hours a day, that is good enough for you, right?
Sir, I have a question.
Go ahead.
Sir, can we do labs? For example, our tokens are complete. So the rest of the labs can we do on our virtual machines?
You can, but we can't trace them, we can't track them,
Okay.
right? So for the Al Razak program to be completed, you have to do on the system because the AI,
Okay, sir.
so there's a very complicated architecture we have, there are terabytes of logs being generated, right?
Okay.
बहुत सारी logs हैं, logs. You can think of, बंदा पागल हो जाएगा. So we have
Okay,
developed
sir.
our own LLM. We are not using others, but we are using a combination of open source LLMs which are available and others, right? Proprietary use. For every use case, we are using an LLM. वो LLM क्या करता है? It analyzes the data, it checks all the data, and it develops a persona. कि तुमने क्या complete किया? What have you completed? All this time. What have you done? It does all of that
Okay.
work. There's a lot of automation. There's a lot of extreme AI monitoring that we have enabled. If we find that कि तुम गलत काम कर रहे हो, you're copying something and you're doing something else, or you're sharing ID or whatever, your diploma will be cancelled.
Okay,
There's a
sir.
strict fraud and abuse policy implemented in the system, and we're going to make it much more stricter. Once you do the lab, you can't do it again. It's disabled. You move forward because there are thousands
Okay,
of
sir.
labs. How many labs there are? More than 5 million labs. You don't have to do 5 million. In AI ops, if I take out from the AI ops, the applicable labs is around a million. But then the
Okay.
other systems are different, right? So out of that million, as per your KYC, जो तुमने KYC complete किया है, you will be given 3,000 to 4,000 labs.
Okay.
Some of the labs you can do it extremely fast. You can do 40, 50 labs in a given day because they are shorter. They are basic labs. Then there are intermediate labs. Then there are advanced labs. Then there are expert labs. Then there are challenge labs. 5 kinds of different labs. Some of the labs you run on one machine. Some of the labs you run on 2 machines. Some of the labs you run on 3 machines. It keeps on increasing, right? So it becomes
Okay,
very
sir.
difficult as you move forward. तुम्हें तुम्हारे project की labs वहाँ मिलेंगी. When you deploy this, you deploy that, you deploy MQTT, Batman, H core heartbeat intervals lagana, the message open telemetry transport protocol MQTT for buffering, for collecting the delayed message delivery, Kafka streams, all of these things. बहुत सारी, there are a ton of things in there. This will prepare you for the interviews. ठीक है ना?
Okay, sir.
The age of 18, if you learn all of these things, you will be unstoppable. No one can stop you from securing the jobs of the future. The
Okay,
AI
sir.
is changing things very, very fast. In our company, it is mandatory now for anyone to complete their AI ops. And then they can pick up
Okay.
specialization. फिर वो specialization अपनी pick कर सकते हैं. What kind of specialization they can pick up? They can pick up any specialization they like, right? जो भी इनको specialization pick करनी है, they can do that, right? So they can pick up like there's a list of specializations that they can pick up from, ठीक है ना? But उनके department के हिसाब से we are giving them all we can and preparing them, right? So if I have to show you AI एंड ML के अंदर तुम स्पेशलाइजेशन कर रहे हो बिकॉज ऑफ AI ops. You can also pick up cybersecurity if you want. You can also pick synthetic media, brain computer interface, digital infrastructure and platforms, AWS, SaaS, low code, no code, right? Data science and analytics, right? But with AI ops के साथ ये specializations तुम कोई सी भी pick कर सकते हो. Semiconductor and chip design, quantum computing, drones and autonomous systems. This is you, satellite and navigation system, GNSS, ISR, space internet, stuff like that, right? So you can see these are 36 technologies that we have, right? 36
Yes, sir.
of mobility and transportation. Just today, एक लड़का यूके से आया और उसने कहा कि वो एस्टन मार्टिन में काम करता है. Our student works at Aston Martin. You know what Aston Martin is?
No, sir.
तुमने जेम्स बॉन्ड की गाड़ी देखी है जो जेम्स बॉन्ड अपनी मूवीज में चलाता है?
No, sir.
तुमने जेम्स बॉन्ड की कोई मूवी देखी है?
No, sir.
अच्छा अच्छा हुआ नहीं देखी यार. लेकिन मैंने भी नहीं देखी. बट ठीक है ना, ये this is the Aston Martin. I have to show you. This is Aston Martin. So he works at Aston Martin, right? तो मैंने उसको बताया कि तुम्हें करना क्या है. What do you have to do? See, this is Aston Martin. I mean, Aston Martin गाड़ी की अगर तुम प्राइस चेक करोगे, I mean, प्राइसेस कितनी है भाई? $2,30,000. Some of the
Okay.
vintage goes to $1.9 million. The newer models, DB12, $2.5 लाख. ठीक है ना? सही है. तो यू कैन सी दिस इज एस्टन मार्टिन की गाड़ियों की प्राइसेस देखो, राइट? और जो पुरानी हैं वो मिलियन मिलियंस में जा रही होती हैं. सो आवर स्टूडेंट वर्क्स देयर. सो आई टोल्ड हिम व्हाट ही हैज टू डू एंड ही इज डूइंग एआई ऑप्स एज वेल, राइट? और उसने कहा कि मुझे अपने आप को और आगे लेके जाना है. व्हाट आई हैव लर्नड हैज टेकन मी देयर बट आई वांट टू गो फर्दर एंड डीपर. सो वो जो
Okay.
टिकर चल रहा है ना वेबसाइट के ऊपर, फॉर्च्यून
Yes,
500
sir.
का, उसमें हमारे बच्चे काम करते हैं. समझे भाई?
Yes, sir.
लड़के के साथ फोन पे सुबह बात कर रहा था और मैंने उसको बोला कि तुम्हें ये सारी चीज़ें करनी है. दिस इज़ व्हाट यू हैव टू डू इफ़ यू रियली वांट टू सेव गार्ड योर सेल्फ इंशाल्लाह एंड बी सक्सेसफुल, राइट? ठीक है ना? उसने अपना रेज्यूमे वगैरह सब भेजा, सब कुछ किया. ठीक है. सो इफ़ आई हैव टू शो यू उसका वो नाम और सब कुछ, राइट? आई कांट शो यू एवरीथिंग. होल्ड ऑन, बिकॉज मुझे इसका नाम अगर ईमेल एड्रेस उसका हटाना पड़ेगा. आई हैव टू हाइड दैट, राइट? Allahu Akbar. So these are his messages. मैं तुम्हें दिखाता हूँ. Just before coming here, मैं उससे बात कर रहा था फोन पे. उसने मुझे मना किया कि मेरा वो मत दिखाइएगा. ठीक है ना? मेरा नाम और वो आप प्लीज मत बताइएगा किसी को. उसकी शादी होने वाली है. आई डोंट नो व्हाई लोग इतना डरते हैं, पता नहीं क्या है यार. ठीक है. अजीब जो है ना, सब लोग बहुत ज्यादा अजीब लोग हैं. मतलब क्या ना, मैं इस पे क्या बोलूं.
सर शायद इसलिए कि ये नजर लग जाएगी। ये
भाई
कॉन्सेप्ट चल रहा है ना।
भाई तो सुबह सारे सुबह के सारे मामूलात करके आओ, कोई नजर नहीं लगेगी यार. जो रसूल सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम करते थे उनको लगी, उन्होंने हमें मामूलात बता दिए. फॉलो दैट. ठीक है ना? सही है. तो उसको सब जो है ना, मतलब कि सुन्नत से दूर है. दे ऑल रन अवे. बट
यस
एनीवे
सर।
दैट्स नॉट माय जॉब. आई एम नॉट हियर टू जज एनीवन हियर. ये मेरा काम नहीं है. माय वर्क इज डिफरेंट, सो आई विल फोकस ऑन दैट. ठीक है. सो let me show you his messages so that you understand what I'm telling you. राइट। सो इसकी मेरे पास कॉल आई, इसने मैंने बात की, इसने कहा मुझे आपसे जो है ना डिस्कशन करनी है, मुझे वो बात करनी है, सब कुछ ठीक है। मैंने कहा मुझे अपना रेज्यूमे भेजो, देन आई विल टॉक टू यू। सो इसने कहा ठीक है, मैं आपको अपना रेज्यूमे भेजता हूँ, फलाना फलाना, ठीक है, सब कुछ मुझे भेजा इसने। मैंने से कॉल की, मैंने कहा देखो तुम पढ़ रहे हो, तुम अपनी चीज़ को पहले कंप्लीट करो, तुम्हें जॉब आप हो गई, सब ठीक है, सही है, ठीक है ना, बट अपना ट्रांसपोर्टेशन एंड स्मार्ट मोबिलिटी के अंदर ये सारे काम कंप्लीट करो, देन इंशाल्लाह यू विल बी एबल टू गो फर्दर एंड डीपर। सो
ओके सर।
complete AI ops, complete Al Razak. You have completed AI ops, but you have to complete Al Razak labs. Complete Al
यस सर।
Razak lab, then pick up a specialization. ठीक है ना?
ओके सर। सर व्हाट इज योर
Along the
रिकमेंडेशन
way,
फॉर द
along the way,
स्पेशलाइजेशन?
along the way, complete QB astronaut and golden astronaut. It's nothing. बहुत आसान है, तो you'll be able to do it क्योंकि उसकी सारी labs अब सब दी हुई हैं, ठीक है ना?
ओके सर।
As far as specialization is concerned, you are 18. You have the whole world to choose from. You can go into satellite communication. You can do your masters in there. ठीक है ना, तुम उसमें भी जाके मास्टर्स कर सकते हो, ये करो, स्पेशलाइजेशन करो, मास्टर्स करने चले जाओ, जो वट एवर यू वांट डू यू कैन डू इट, राइट। ठीक है, इट्स अप टू यू व्हाट यू डिसाइड। अगर तुमने वो स्पेशलाइजेशन जो भी करनी है, जिस तरह से भी करनी है, मैं आई एम गोइंग टू शो यू समथिंग। ठीक है, हमारे पास टाइम नहीं होता बिकॉज सो मच वर्क, मैं अब ऑनलाइन बैठता नहीं हूँ, आई डोंट हैव द टाइम बिकॉज मेरे पास अब दूसरे काम बहुत ज़्यादा हैं। ठीक है, आई एम गोइंग टू शो यू समथिंग कि एआई ऑप्स के साथ तुम क्या स्पेशलाइजेशन करो कि तुम उससे आगे और निकल सको और उसके आगे जा सको। ठीक है ना, सो आई एम गोइंग टू शो यू दैट। अगर तुमने एआई ऑप्स के साथ कोई स्पेशलाइजेशन की, एआई या उसकी, ठीक है ना, अ, ये एक अलग कंपनी है बेस्ट ट्यूटर्स, उनको हमने एक अलग प्रपोजल दिया है, दैट्स अ सेपरेट वन। बट ये डिप्लोमा इन एआई ऑप्स पे स्पेशलाइजेशन पोटेंशियल एमएससी डिग्री ग्लोबल एडमिशंस कहाँ तुम कर सकते हो, अगर तुमने एआई किया, एआई ऑप्स कर लिया, इसमें तुम जा सकते हो करने के लिए, लड़के ऑलरेडी जा रहे हैं। अगर तुमने एआई के साथ स्पेशलाइजेशन क्लाउड एंड बिग डेटा में की, इसमें तुम जा सकते हो। अगर तुमने एआई के साथ 5G 6G की कम्युनिकेशन में किया, राइट, तुम इसमें जा सकते हो। अगर तुमने एआई के साथ साइबर सिक्योरिटी में किया, तुम इसमें स्पेशल मास्टर्स करने जा सकते हो। अगर तुमने एआई के साथ ब्लॉकचेन में किया, इसमें तुम जा सकते हो। सिंथेटिक मीडिया, ब्रेन कंप्यूटर इंटरफेस, digital infrastructure platform, you can see all of those things. Data science and analytics, you can see all of those things. Everything starts with AI ops. Semiconductor chip design, उसमें भी तुम मास्टर्स करने जा सकते हो। इसके साथ स्पेशलाइजेशन जोड़नी पड़ेगी ये वाली। क्वांटम कंप्यूटिंग, ड्रोन्स एंड ऑटोनमस सिस्टम्स, रोबोटिक्स एंड ऑटोमेशन, ऑप्टिक्स एंड फोटोनिक्स, ठीक है ना, सैटेलाइट एंड नेविगेशन सिस्टम जिसमें तुमने आज प्रेजेंटेशन दी है, इसके साथ अगर वो करो, न्यूक्लियर टेक्नोलॉजी, यस यू कैन इवन गो देयर, राइट। सो अगर ये सब देखोगे, ये सब चीज़ें देखोगे, सी द कॉम्बिनेशन, you see the combination, there are more than 36 specializations in तुम्हारे पास, but there are more than 500 to 600 unique MSc global programs in which you can go। दुनिया में कौन सा ऐसा इंस्टीट्यूट है जो ये करवा रहा है? तुम्हारा टाइम सेव हो गया, तुम्हें बैचलर्स की ख्वारी नहीं करनी पड़ रही, तुम 18 साल के हो, ठीक है,
यस सर।
अभी मास्टर्स करने जाओ, तुम्हारा एडमिशन हो जाएगा।
सर मेरा एक सवाल है।
गो अहेड।
सर ये 81% मेरे क्यों इसके अंदर प्रेजेंटेशन के अंदर है ना?
80।
सर 40.5।
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to compile the results, it's going to be for 81, yeah।
Okay sir, this is distinction or merit or pass, what is it?
The distinction goes at there is a, I think it goes above 80, ठीक है ना, यानी कि above 80 का मतलब है कि 87 88 पे उस पे मिलती है, but this is very good, the marks are good, very good।
सर मेरा एक और भी सवाल है सर, अकॉर्डिंग टू यू के उस वहाँ पर डिस्टिंक्शन जो है वो 70+ से शुरू हो जाती है, तो हम एजुकॉल लेवल 6 कर रहे हैं तो उसके अंदर डिस्टिंक्शन जो है वो इसके ऊपर क्यों नहीं मिल सकती?
What kind of question is that? I don't understand।
सर देखें,
कहाँ पर
हम
कहाँ पर
एजुकॉल लेवल
70
6 का।
कहाँ पर 70% से होती है?
सर ये देखें, यूके के अंदर जो डिस्टिंक्शन होती है वो स्टार्ट
एवरी
होती है।
एवरी यूनिवर्सिटी, एवरी कॉलेज has their own standard. We have developed our own high standard. If you want to
Okay,
have
sir.
or something like that, you have to meet our criteria. If you go to
Okay,
O
sir.
levels, Cambridge system, they give you distinction at 19 plus, like उसपे वो देते हैं, A plus आपका आ गया, whatever, right? So they
Okay,
don't
sir.
give that. So this is our own. We define our own things,
Okay, sir.
right? So no, this is not a, if you are discussing with me, will I get the distinction? Well, yeah, I mean, as per the grades, you will see your grades and you will get those things mentioned in your certificate, right? But normally distinction and very high जो है, सबसे highest बच्चों के जो marks हैं वो 98% आए, 96 या 98. That has been one person. She was a girl, Shanze, from UK. Excellent communication skills, complete command on the topic, and she was able to answer each and every question. Then there was Shees, who was going to UK, जो कराची का ही लड़का
Yes,
है.
sir.
He's going to UK to do his masters. उसने ओ लेवल किया था और फिर हमारा डिप्लोमा किया. उसने पूरा डिप्लोमा 5.5 महीने में खत्म कर लिया. Very fast. He's blazing fast. ठीक है ना? He works for us in our company now as well. He was offered a position. He works here as well, right? And mashallah, now he's going to UK to do his masters, right, in applied AI. So there's another person, I think she was a girl from Saudi Arabia. She secured 94 something, 92, I can't remember. So there are people, that's distinction. That's, I mean,
Okay,
gold
sir.
medal and whatnot, right? If you want to achieve that, you have to present more things, right? In your feedback, if I have to give you the feedback of the exam, you will see that in your report, right? In the examination report, because there's a separate report that goes to EduQual that we submit, right? So you will see the results there, right?
Okay, sir.
How we analyze the student report. If I have to tell you, there are 5 things we look in the presentation: content mastery, organization, presentation skills, use of visuals, usage of AI tools. Some of the things were missing in your presentation. There were minor weaknesses. Areas of improvement: add command level or architecture diagrams. They were missing. Provide more real-time simulation or test case data. Improve originality in visuals and slide transitions, right? So there are certain things that we mention in the report, right?
Okay, sir.
But you will see that. But anyway, the point is, this is excellent performance. The
Yes, sir.
final marks comes out to be good. So inshallah, you're good. The mark is excellent performance.
Okay.
Good, mashallah. What are you talking about? Okay. All right.
Okay,
Jazakallah
sir.
khair. Ask your parents to make special dua for me. Subhanakallahumma bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Ask them to make one special dua. Allahumma inni as'aluka shahadatan fil masjid Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam wa ummi wa abbi wa Sheikh Muhammad. Right? This is my dua. Ask them, inshallah. You're in Karachi,
Lahore, sir.
Lahore? Okay. If I go in Lahore and if I have the time, inshallah, I will invite all the students. You can come and meet me as well, inshallah. Okay?
Okay,
Jazakallah.
sir.
Inshallah.